Hello everybody. Okay, so I told you what we were doing this morning. As you can see, I have been out working and I didn't want to go change and then come back in, so you get to deal with me messy. I had told you about the mango seeds. So the first week and a half we were getting germination on several of those seeds. We're into week 2 now. Week 2? 2.5, and we lost all but 2. So this is really cool, you guys. So I made these little, I potted them. I'll show you how I did that. And then I made these little greenhouses for them, and I have them underneath the balcony so they're not getting hit by direct sun. But they are tropical plants, so you can see that they're getting all that humidity that they love. So I'm going to take one of these off so you can see. Look at how, so all you do is you take the seed and you kind of tuck it into the dirt, and then this starts forming and it'll all break open and it's going to create a root system. And then this one, you can see the green starting on that one also. It's doing the same thing. So we're in week 2.5, and we will come back next week and I kind of throw the bag over it to give it some air. And we'll see how it's doing next week. But that's why I said we do a lot more seeds, because I think I have my paper towel too wet, and it was making them moldy. So, but I got 2 out of 6. Better than nothing. Okay, we're going to do a small garden tour so I can show you different types of squash. In here, we have one pumpkin, and we have a kombucha squash and a white squash in here.
So these are no longer strawberries?
No, there's strawberries in here.
Okay.
But see the squash, the bigger leaves?
Yeah.
Those are the squash. Okay. And then in our blueberry containers,
They look terrible.
it's...
But there's green still.
Yeah. So if you guys get these galvanized tubs, make sure that you drill holes in the bottom of them. We had a pipe. We have holes in it, and we have a pipe for drainage, but it wasn't draining it enough. So I think we were getting some root rot, because blueberries are shallow rooted plants. So we're going to see if they come back. I know this one will, because it's got some green on it, but I'm not sure about that one. We might have to replace that one. But in the meantime, we have a Big Max pumpkin in here, and he's loving it. In here, we still have a couple cantaloupes going. I'd say probably within the next 2 weeks, we'll probably be ripping out all these vines. But this was great ground cover for these trees. Here is our eggplant. That is a perennial, and it's just gone crazy. You can see some white flies in there though, but I'm going to spray that with some Dawn dish soap. And here we go. I had 20 tomato plants I had to find a place for. So we've decided that we are going to build a trellis that goes about 6 to 8 feet high, and we're going to do a string trellis across here and across the other bed. We have Ukrainian purples in here, blueberries, bumblebees, Amish paste, black cherry, super 100s. This one right here is a Ukrainian purple, and he wasn't doing so good, so I think he just needed to get in the ground. But we'll see what happens with him. And this is a striped tomato. These are one of the free seeds that I got from Baker Creek. Whenever you order a certain amount of seeds, they give you free seeds. And I got a striped tomato this time, so we'll see what that turns out like. I don't know if it's an indeterminate or a determinate. Bless you. And over here, we have those beans that we started. These are all the bush bean varieties. We have the yellow, the purple, and the green beans that are all full. And then we went over on the back side of this one and did, let's see, Paterno Romanesco, Celebration, Raspberry Lion, Amish Paste, and a Mortgage Lifter. over on this side. It's called a mortgage lifter because some man did this, and then we'll go this way. Remember, we have this full of cantaloupes, and I use this dirt to fill up my raised beds. And then over here, we have our cowpeas that you can see we used as a ground cover. We covered that before. They're doing very well. Every time some dry up, I pick them up. Yeah, you can eat them as regular peas. Try to find one that's smaller.
This one looks good. It's calling my name.
He's pretty. He's going to be pretty fibrous because he's bigger. Try this one right here.
Okay. Yeah, hold on to it.
Okay, I got it. All right. So here we have the blueberries. This is another mortgage lifter. It was not doing well in the pot, so I'm not sure if we'll get him or not. And another Romanesco over there. And then the cowpeas are here. Like I said, every time they dry, I pick them off, take them in the house, so that we'll have cowpeas. Like this one here, looks like it's dry, but it's not. It's still got some green on it. Once it starts looking really dark brown, and that's when they're ready to pick off. So that's that. That's this raised bed. Then over here,
Be my new snack place.
What'd you think of it?
I said I'm gonna be over there a lot.
Oh, oh, Candace likes the cowpeas. Okay, so here are our plum, pluot, and pluary. And I put some winter squash down in here also. We've got the white squash, and we've got the jack-o'-lantern right here, pumpkin. And then this one's flowering right now. This is the Watham butternut. This is a butternut. So that's exciting. They're doing very well. And then we walk over to here. I'm just gonna have Candace kind of glance in here because I don't want to pull up this whole shade cloth. But we're hiding our blackberry bushes and some green peppers in here. But if you look against the wall, that's where I have my pole beans. And I don't know if you guys can see them. Candace, can you zoom into that squash right there? It's kind of center here. Do you see it?
I have no idea.
Let me see if you see it. Yeah, it's like one of them's right there. Okay, there she goes. Okay, so we have two in each section here of the summer squash. I'm gonna move this. Do you see that poor little guy that's dead? I came in here and there were 4 squash bugs on that poor guy. They sucked the life right out of it. But not to worry, because the other ones down there, you can see that there's 3 of them in that one place. So I can replace one of those and bring it down here. But that'll be next weekend. We got too much going on today. And then here you can see all of our peppers, all the different peppers that we've been showing you along the way. There's a couple in there that Tom's tried and they've been pretty hot. This is our Roselle hibiscus. I filled this pot today and put more dirt in it. You can see that we're starting to get some flowering on this. So far, every time it flowers, they've died off. And the other thing is I think they have a longer root system than what's good for a pot. You might think about putting them in a raised bed. And then over here, you can see more. This is where I put more of the summer squash. And I did that because I wanted to protect it as much as possible from the squash bugs that we're still finding a little bit of. We've gotten rid of 90% of them. And then we have pole beans along the whole trellis here also that'll be climbing up. I'm thinking probably about another month and then we'll be able to take all this shade cloth down. But for now, it's staying up to protect everything. And here's our crazy bees right there. And then over, we're gonna show you 2 sides of this. Here's all of our basil. So you remember those tomatoes that we planted in here? Well, the sun, they were beautiful tomato plants, but the sun hit them and it was just way too hot back here for them. So when we had the 115, 117 degrees, they just baked and they died. So I had to take those out. Then one of my failures for this week, I had 6 tomatillos back here. And for some reason, I don't know why, I think it was because we got 2 good rainstorms and it was just too much on new plants. I only ended up with 3. Lost 3, got 3. So I have the purple, I have the verde, and I have the Rio Grande. I think I have 1 of each. And I should be okay because you need more than 2 for germination, and I have 3, so I should be okay. And as you can see, the basil is just going crazy. Next weekend we'll probably be making pesto because this all needs to be trimmed back. I trimmed all the flower heads off of it again today.
Lemons coming.
Look at our lemons in our little lemon pot. And we're getting a bunch of cherries on our Barbados cherry tree.
Where?
Or not cherries, excuse me. We're getting a bunch of flower sets.
Oh, I'm like, you guys are greedy.
No, not yet. No cherries yet. Okay, and then this is the kumquat. She's not doing much of anything right now. And on the other side of here, you can see where I did have the dead ones, I planted regular tomatoes. That's a dead one. Okay, so this is a I always do this. I would have been looking for this. What am I trying to say, Candace? This is a tomatillo. So tomatillo here, here, and then that one there is a tomatillo. Then we have all these basils, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 other plants, tomato plants. The striped tomato, the super sweet 100. I'm really excited about that. James Pigioni on Jersey Homestead does super 100s, and they look fantastic. And then we have another stripe down at the end and a celebration. So we'll see how they do. The weather's cooling off a bit, so hopefully they'll do better. In here, Tom fertilized this morning and didn't realize I had a little patty pan in there. So hopefully it likes the fertilizer. We'll see what happens there. And then we'll detour over to here. That right there is another patty pan. And it's looking a lot better than it was looking like that one over there. So it's really coming around since we put it in the ground. And here is where I had those tomatillos that we did a video on that those nasty larvae things took over. I don't always like planting in the same spot with the same thing, but I'm out of spaces for my tomatoes right now. So I did a bumblebee in here, and we'll run him up that trellis. And this basil, I'm just letting flower so that the bees, as you can see, the bees are in here. They just love the basil flowers.
Oh, it smells good.
Mm-hmm. And then this one right here, I tucked a tomato in here. So this basil will help shadow that tomato. And that is a Brandywine tomato. And back here we have our cactuses that seem to be doing fine. And I tucked a winter squash down in here. Let's see, which one is that? I don't see the tag right now, but it's a winter squash. We'll see when it comes up, I guess. This is going to be getting torn down. This was another failure that we had. This was our succulent garden that we did together, and these rocks in this area got way too hot and just it fried them. The last time we did a video, we still had some green on these plants, and there's nothing. So that's going to get totally taken down. We have a pepper plant back here that's been getting roasted, but it keeps putting flower on, so it should be okay. You can see our pomegranates are getting nice and big. Oh my gosh, look at this one down here.
Saw it.
You guys, look at that
pomegranate.
This is a Brandywine again. And as you know, when you plant your tomatoes, make sure you plant them as deep as possible, because all of those little hairs right there will turn into roots and you'll get a sturdier plant. So that's that. And then over here, we're thinking this area is too hot because look at these jalapenos. They should be like so much bigger. They taste good, they're hot, but they're very tiny. And then I had a green pepper that we moved back here because something was savaging it. I mean, look at that. It's just been eaten alive. But I think this area is just too hot for these guys, so we'll probably move this next year. We have some chives.
Hey, Rebecca's.
Say hi, Rebecca's. Okay. We have some chives that have some flowering going on. Maybe we'll have some baked potatoes. Oh, I'm throwing a turkey in the oven today so I can make some broth. I want to pressure can some broth. So I'm going to be doing that today. This is our lemongrass. We still have to do a video on showing you how to use that so you can have it for teas. This is the sage, and this is more of the lemongrass. This is our 2-year-old plant, 2.5-year-old plant actually, and this is a little over a year. We got these because Candace was told that they're really good for mosquitoes, and oh, that's why I'm so dirty. I keep brushing mosquitoes off of me. This is my asparagus plant from my dear friend Beverly. It's still doing very well. If we ever get our pond in, it'll be going right next to the pond. So that's what we got going on right now in the backyard. The next thing we're going to be doing today is doing some turkey, and then I have to up pot a bunch of peppers. We have a friend of ours in Wyoming that is he makes salsa, so we're going to be sending him peppers so he can bring us salsa. It's really good. It's called Not Your Mama's Salsa, and we've gotten it from him every time we go to Wyoming. We bring back some jars. He has all different flavors. They're just amazing. So that's why we got so many pepper plants going, because we're going to try to have enough to send to him to make salsa, and then we might even sell some. We're not sure. We're just having fun trying all the different types, and I just love watching Tom eat them. It's amazing. So we will connect again after I get cleaned up and show you the peppers that I'm going to be up potting today.